cream and eggs and all that stuff. That's fun. So today I am making baked pineapple for Easter, family fave. Lots of people do some kind of pineapple dish, but I'm up close right now because I wanted you to see my blouse has pineapples on it. Look at those. And pineapple earrings. Okay, wanted to go with the theme. I've had this blouse for like 2 years and I've never worn it, and so today it's very appropriate since we're doing pineapple. Okay. So this is an adaptation from my mother's recipe. She had delicious baked pineapple. I do it a little bit differently than she does. So it's gonna look difficult, but it's not as usual. Everything I make is super simple and relatively inexpensive. So you're gonna need some brown sugar for this recipe. I'm gonna put all the ingredients down below. Remember, I'm gonna use my nose and my eyeballs to judge things, but I will put the measurements down below. So that's brown sugar. That's one 24-ounce can or 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple, and one 20-ounce can of pineapple chunks. I like to have some real pineapple in there. I like it to be a little meaty. You can do all crushed if you want to. You're gonna need some good old-fashioned cinnamon, 4 to 5 eggs. My eggs are extra large eggs, so I may only need 4 of those guys. So we're gonna see how it goes. Reserve the liquid. You're going to drain both cans of your pineapple, and you can double this if you have a huge family event you're going to host. Reserve the liquid, guys, in a bowl because you might need it. Depends on how thick it is. If it's too thick, and I'm going to show you, then you're going to want a little bit of liquid. So save your liquid. And then you got some vanilla, my easy homemade vanilla, and just any type of butter, stick of butter, whatever, margarine, whatever you got is fine. You're going to need a casserole, a 3-quart casserole. If you don't have one, that's okay. It's not gonna be filled to the top anyway. If you're gonna double the recipe, you're gonna need 2 of these. And make sure it's already pre-greased, and you can grease it with some butter. I just took a little paper towel with some butter and just went around all of that and the rim and everything inside. Okay, so while I'm mixing all this together, I wanna talk to you ladies, and specifically young ladies, about our bodies. Here's something that society is not going to tell you and that you're never probably going to hear. You were not put on this earth to serve men sexually. Your body is not to be given to every man around. Now, I understand a lot of us, we have daddy issues. I'm going to start dumping stuff in. And there's my crushed pineapple. A lot of women have daddy issues. In fact, I've met very, very few women in my lifetime who didn't have daddy issues. Like maybe like 1 or 2, right? Dump that in there. So we're looking for daddy. Even though I wasn't promiscuous as far as like sleeping with everybody, you know, at the bar, because I didn't do that, I was still looking for daddy. I think that's why I like older men. Because I wanted that fatherly figure in my life to take care of me. Women need to be validated. We need to be told that we're beautiful and that we're worth fighting for. And if you don't get that from your fathers and they don't exhibit to you throughout your lifetime that you're not worth being fought for, then you carry these issues with you and you look for it in men. So how do we think we're gonna get it in men? We open our legs. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that, and you don't have to do that to your body. It's hurting your soul. Now, I understand most women have had premarital sex. I had premarital sex. I get it. And I was looking for daddy. I'm talking about girls who are excessive. Now, what's excessive? To some religious organizations, anything before marriage is excessive. And we're all hoes, right? If you're giving away your body constantly, then that means that you're looking for that love and acceptance that you didn't get from him. It's kind of like that one movie with Matthew McConaughey, and he says to the girl, "Do you have daddy issues?" And she goes, Daddy issues? No, I don't even know my dad. And he says, perfect. You didn't know him, he wasn't there for you? That's daddy issues. Maybe he was in your life and raised you, but he didn't show you that you were worth fighting for. I never had that. I never had somebody a father, right, go to bat for me and say, you're number one, you don't touch my effing daughter, you don't treat my daughter that way, this is bullshit, and I will end your ass because you came after my baby. I've never had that. So I was constantly looking for that in my life, even though I didn't know it at the time. You are not there for their sexual pleasure. You're not there to make them happy. What it is it's acceptance. You want acceptance and you want love. So we open our legs because we equate that, right? And even though we're just like, no, I understand now that girls go out and they just want to get laid or whatever. They say that, but really they're just looking for dad on my third day. So I just wanted you all to know you don't have to do that. And if there's a guy out there that you really like and he's like, well, you need to sleep with me or whatever, no. And then, you want him to like you so you're going to have sex with him? No. You don't have to, because guess what? If he likes you, he's going to like you regardless of sex or not. He can jack off. Sorry, I know it's graphic, but whatever. It's not up to you to fulfill him sexually, and it's not up to you to give away a part of yourself so you can keep this dude around. If he loves you or likes you, it won't matter, and he'll wait. Then we end up getting our heart broken because they don't stick around. And that's what happened with me when I lost my virginity. Didn't stick around. And that is heartbreaking because you think that that person loves you and is going to be there for you. So not only have you given a part of you away, but then they're gone. This recipe is a little bit thin, so I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch. That's about 3 that I added. This is why God designed marriage. And this is why he said you need to wait until you're married, because then you don't have to worry about it. He's not going to leave. He's not going to get a piece of ass and be gone and never call you again and ghost you. Putting in some brown sugar, probably about half a cup. Don't worry, I'm going to put that down so you're not like, what the hell's probably, lady? I definitely will not need any liquid in this recipe. I'm going to add some cinnamon. By the way, when I got my heart broken, it was devastating. And he was a coward when he broke up with me. He went away to college and he did not do it on in person like a real man would do. He did it like a toddler would do, and he did it over the phone, so he didn't have to face me. And then what's really funny is we no longer live in Las Vegas anymore. We don't live in Nevada anymore. We live halfway across the country now, and he lives down the street. So my husband one time was in an office and met him and didn't know who it was, and just told me, oh my God, I met this guy from Vegas and he went to UNLV like you did, right? I'm a UNLV alumni. That was a couple tablespoons, probably a tablespoon and a half of cinnamon. Smells good. Can use a little bit more because I like a lot of cinnamon. Just adapt it to whatever you like, more or less. So it's still super, super runny, guys. So I'm gonna add some more cornstarch and a splash of vanilla first. So my husband ran into him and came back and said, oh my God, I met this guy, he went to UNLV and blah, blah, blah. I said, is his name blank blank? He said, yeah. I said, oh yeah, that's the guy that broke my heart. He was like, what? So he now lives halfway across the country and lives down the street from me, which is just so weird, right? And so when this first happened, this was years ago, and when we found out, when my husband met him, unbeknownst to him, right? When we met him, my husband didn't know who he was. And he didn't know who my husband was, because I said, did you mention my name? Because there's only like one of me in the world, right? with that name. And he goes, no, I didn't even mention your name. So he didn't know either. And then it kind of got out through business acquaintances that we used to date when we were young. And he knew it was me. And then I told my husband, I said, well, it's a law of attraction. Now we're going to run into him. And then we went out that Friday night and we ran into him. So, you know, whenever you don't want to run into somebody, that's the time you're going to run into them because you're drawing that energy. So my mother had always preached to me, you know, you don't open your legs. You don't do it, no matter what. But I met him and that was out the window. So it was extremely traumatic for me. I never took sex lightly. I thought it was always something kind of special, you know, and sacred. And I know nowadays it may not be that special or that sacred. I know a lot of girls out there want a few partners under their belt and all that. And it's like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that to yourself. And then you don't have to worry about the fallout of getting your heart broken. Okay? Your body was not built to make a man happy. Now, when you are a married woman, that's different. You can get on all the time. You can be sexy, sticky, dicky you want. Get on with your man. That's supposed to be that way. But when you're not married, you don't have to do it. Sure as hell don't have to do it to have somebody like you. And like my husband will tell you, you can roll into any bar at 2 a.m. and pick out who you want. They can get laid somewhere else. Not a big deal. It's not hard for men. Okay? They can go in and take what they want at the end of the night and go home with it. Don't be that girl. You're worth more than that. And I want to shake those girls and I want to tell them I'm sorry they had shitty fathers and they don't need to do that anymore. So this is looking pretty good. It's still runny, but it's got a little bit of thickness to it, just a little bit. Okay. All it is the pineapple, some eggs, some brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon. That's it. So get that all smoothed out. It looks super, super runny, guys. I'm gonna add a little bit more cornstarch. Easter's such a nice holiday. You don't have to go into debt. You don't have to show your ass off to make it look like, you know, you get all these, given all these fancy gifts, no credit card bill. It's just a really pretty, nice holiday. Don't like summer, but I sure do like spring. You just put little pads of butter all over. Pad, it's like about like that. So I'm just going to use my fingers because I don't want to get too much cinnamon, right? I don't want a bunch of cinnamon globbing all over this. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Look at that. So the butter's just evenly on top. Got your cinnamon. We're going to pop this into a 350 degree preheated oven. So let's say that you were a virgin when you got married. Or you weren't really promiscuous like me. You have a job to teach your daughters about sex. That is your obligation, and your sons. How do we change the pattern? We tell our boys they're not there for your sexual pleasure. We tell our girls you don't open up your legs to any SOB. You don't have to. You're worth more than that. That's what we need to do. Grassroots effort starts at home. Don't care if you're a single mom, if there's, 22 people raising that baby, if it's a lesbian couple, a gay couple, I don't care what it is, who you are, what you come from, you have an obligation to teach your babies. She's not there for your sexual pleasure. You're not there to get him off. If you got to do that to save something or keep something going or make him like you or love you, then that's not the way. Then that means he doesn't really like you or love you. You're worth more than that. Your body's worth more than that. So that's our obligation as parents. We're scared to talk to our children about sex. When I went to my mom, I was about 8 years old. Mommy, what's sex? How does it happen? She said, okay. And she took me in. She had a yellow Post-it and she drew it. She drew out the penis and the vajayjay and she showed me this is what happens and this is how baby's made. And that's sex. And then I remember coming to her one time, Donahue was on, way back in the day, Phil Donahue, right? And I said to my mom, they had lesbians on. I said, how do lesbians do it? Because I was perplexed, like there's nothing to go in there. Like, well, what happens? And then she drew me a little picture and she said, this is what they use and this is what they do and this is how they do it. That was it. It might be embarrassing, but you know what's more embarrassing? Is your baby out there trying to find daddy. You know what's more embarrassing? Your son's banging through life through everything that moves and walks. He's stalking it and catching it and bedding it down, thinking that he's a man because of that. That's what's embarrassing. What's embarrassing is that you cannot take control of your own thoughts and emotions in your mouth and just simply tell your children, this is how it happens. Because if you don't tell your children, they're going to find out anyway, right? And why are you going to make it dirty? It's not dirty. It's normal. It's natural. It's the way God intended it. Or we wouldn't given them penises. He wouldn't given us vaginas. That's the way He made it. We're supposed to have sex. It's not a dirty thing. You gonna make it dirty? Because this is gonna be dirty and this is gonna be weird and awkward and it's gonna be crazy. And why would you want to do that to your babies? Now, I'm not saying that you have to gather everybody in the kitchen tonight and be like, okay, let's talk about penises. No, but when they come to you and they say, Mom, what's that? Tell them. You don't have to tell them around the 5-year-olds and your 6 and 7-year-old, but your 10-year-old comes to you and asks you, tell them. And what's this and what's that? And what's transgender? What do you mean? Oh, well, they're getting an operation and this is what they do. They want to be a male, they want to be a female. I'm not talking about whether you believe in that or not. I'm not talking about whether you think it's morally right or morally wrong. When your babies come to you and they ask you these questions, be honest with them and tell them. Get over yourself. You're a damn adult. You can't tell them that this goes in this and this is where the baby comes from? I think we're a little past that, especially with all the sin and shit in the world. I think you can really woman up and you can tell them. It's okay. So my mom always told me, so it was never like a weird thing or a gross thing or dirty thing or like periods, because there's a lot of young moms who still have their periods and then they ask you, what is that? Like my girls, what is that, Mommy? Why do you have that? Because they were a little alarmed the first time they saw it and they could understand, right? Probably at 2. And I told them, oh, that's blood. Well, why does it happen? Oh, that means there's no baby. So the lining of my uterus is shed and that's what comes out and it's normal and it's natural. And one day that'll happen to you. And they poke my boobs and they go, boobs. You got boobs, Mom. You got big boobs, Mommy. I said, yeah, one day. I said, you have them too. They just haven't grown out yet. Stop making it such a cliche, weird thing. Stop saying, well, your father can talk to you about that. Yeah, I understand if you got a boy and stuff and he's going to want to know certain things. You might not want to sit down and tell him every little detail. And yeah, that is a dad thing. But if there's no dad around, you the dad. And you're going to have to say, this is what goes on. And you're not to go out there and try to get it from everything that moves. That's not your job. That's not what you're put on this earth to do. They have a soul too. And if something happens and there's a pregnancy, both parties are at fault. You can't blame that boy. You can't blame that girl. It takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to bump uglies. It's the way it is. So I just wanted you young women to know out there that you don't have to give it away. You don't have to send him a boob shot or a cha-cha shot or something like that, because then you really don't know where it's going because it's out there forever. And by the way, it's illegal. I didn't even know it was illegal till my bestie said, girl, you can't even send that stuff. It's illegal. I'm like, oh, hot damn. So you want to make sure you don't do anything illegal and you don't want something to get out there, right? Because then what if he gets pissed off? What if he tries to blackmail you or something and be like, I'm going to show your crotch shot to everybody at school? Nope. No. Oh, hell no. Even if we had the technology like now when I was growing up, I'd be like, no, if we're doing it, you can see it in person and that's enough. You're not getting any pictures on me or email or whatever, okay? Which I shouldn't have been doing that stuff anyway. I wish I had waited. I think everyone thinks that, or a lot of women do, like, I wish I had waited. It's like, yeah, you know what, but shit happens, that's life. You know, all of a sudden you're humping like rabbits. You know, they say it didn't mean for it to happen. Yeah, you just, whatever. Hormones and stuff. We don't want our babies to do it, but let's face it, they're going to do it. And we need to talk about birth control and protection too, because it's not just about babies. There's all kinds of diseases now. And you don't want your baby to have that, because later in life it can cause infertility, it can cause sterility. So you could become sterile because you were messing around now, because it's crazy and everything's mutating, right? So I hope this helps you guys, and I hope you girls know that you are beautiful, fearfully and wonderfully made. Christ designed your body like a temple. It's a temple, right? He loves you. He resides in you. Your soul's in there, that lovely, beautiful spirit's in there. And nobody needs to force themselves on you. And I'm not talking about rape or assault. I'm talking about no one needs to emotionally try to push you into something. He starts going that route and you're not ready for that, you need to be like, back it up or get the hell out. Because there's so much life left. You have your whole life to bang it out. Trust me. And then you're going to try to have a baby. And then like me, it became like clockwork. And I'm just doing it all the time. And I just one more damn person says to me, well, it's so much fun trying. You know what? Shove it. Shove it right up your ass. It is not fun trying when you're basically, you know, can't move anymore because you have to do it like clockwork so many days in a row. Your whole life to do that. You want to express your love for each other? Sit down and make out. Write each other a letter. You don't have to do that. And you sure as heck don't have to go around giving it out to everybody because you're worth more than that. Okay, guys, I love you. When the baked pineapple is out, I will show it to you. It's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. It's so good. And it's so simple and done, right? I mean, it's a mess here because I make a mess. Like, if I'm going to go get Cheerios, I make a mess. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And then I will show you the finished product. You're going to know when it's done, by the way. You're going to put it in there for about 30 minutes or so. My nose is going to tell me. I will set a timer because I do forget as well. And it's about 30 minutes and it's going to be golden brown on top. And that's how you know that puppy is done. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Be back soon. Mwah. Hi, guys. So just got it out of the oven. It is gorgeous. It's golden brown and it's all set up nice and firm, but it's still gonna be gooey tomorrow. And so that was about 30-40 minutes in the oven. And then tomorrow when Sunday when I'm getting ready to serve it, because it's Friday afternoon. Sunday when I serve it, I'm just gonna pop it back in the oven for a little bit, maybe another 20 minutes. You're gonna have this delicious, amazing, it's almost like a souffle, guys. Gorgeous, beautiful springtime dessert or side dish. We use it as a side dish with our ham, and it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna love it. It's delicious and easy. Okay, ladies, I just want to leave you with this. If you're out there dating again or still dating because you haven't met the one, and you're younger, middle-aged, older, whatever, you don't have to have sex with them, and you don't have to have sex with them on the first date. Do not have sex on the first date ever. Ever. Okay? That's my advice to you. All right? Because you don't know him. And you gotta work for that. You gotta pay to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Better with Nutter. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell so you can find out when I post my next video. And you know, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know where we're gonna go from here. Okay, I love you guys. And happy Easter. Bye. Mwah. Hi guys, thank you all for tuning into my channel, Better with Nutter. I really appreciate all of you and love you. So please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and push that notification bell so you can be the first to know when I have a new post. And please press the like button. Thank you all so much for your love and support. Love you guys. Bye.